In this video, you will learn how to install Veracode Static for Visual Studios on a Windows machine, generate API ID and key credentials in the Veracode Platform, and configure an API credentials file for storing your API credentials. Veracode Static for Visual Studio integrates with Microsoft Visual Studio to assist you with compiling your applications, uploading them to Veracode for static analysis, and reviewing static analysis results. Please note the version of Visual Studio in the following demo is Visual Studio 2019. During the Veracode Static for Visual Studio installation, you are required to provide Veracode API ID and key credentials. To generate API credentials, log into the Veracode Platform. From the User Account drop-down menu, select API Credentials. Click Generate API Credentials. Copy the ID and secret key, then paste them into a secure location. You can now configure an API credentials file using your API credentials. To avoid entering the same credentials in multiple locations, other supported IDEs that require the Veracode credentials file can use the same file. To configure an API credentials file, in File Explorer, navigate to the Users folder on the C drive and then open the folder for your user account. Add a new folder to your user folder named .veracode. Adding a final period to the name. The extra period at the end of the folder name specifies to File Explorer that you want to create a folder that starts with a period. Windows removes the second period after you create the folder. Open a text editor, such as Notepad, and add your Veracode API credentials to a new file in the following format. Enter your API ID. Enter your API secret key. Choose File and click Save As and enter Credentials in the file name field. The quotation marks prevent Notepad from adding the file extension. Click Save. If the file has an extension, right-click the file, choose Properties, and remove the file extension in the dialog. To install Veracode Static for Visual Studio, make sure that Visual Studio is closed. Navigate to the Microsoft Visual Studio Marketplace at marketplace.visualstudio.com. Search for Veracode. From the Version drop-down menu, select your version of Visual Studio. In the search results, click the tile for Veracode Static for Visual Studio. Click Download to download the VSIX package file. Double-click the VSIX file and follow the on-screen instructions to install the extension. To verify that the installation completed successfully, open Visual Studio and locate the Veracode Static menu. By default, Veracode Static for Visual Studio automatically checks for updates. To ensure that the extension is configured to update automatically, in Visual Studio, check that the Automatically Update this extension checkbox is selected. If you want to update the extension manually, clear the checkbox and see the Visual Studio documentation for instructions on performing a manual update. You can now use Veracode Static for Visual Studio to create a Veracode build, upload files to scan, and download scanned results. Thank you for watching this video. For more information, navigate to help.veracode.com and search Install Veracode Static for Visual Studio.